Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are needing to go up to fastest speed, there we go, and we're also needing to work a bit on our food and consumer goods. So that is definitely something that we will work on. This tech world requires a job, and we can actually just put in a research lab here, so we'll just go down like so. It's much faster to do that. And this industrial world here requires a job. This is also only sort of an industrial world. Interesting. We're going to go ahead and put in an industrial district here because industrial world is the better setup here. It's more efficient because of the Ministry of Production and the designation, which we can go ahead and designate this as a forge world. Or we could do an industrial world, I suppose. I'm going to go for forge world because that will actually offset the food a little bit more, because of the upkeep on the catalytic technicians. That's the overall idea there. That did not really help our food and consumer goods situation, did it? Energy credits from jobs is all well and good, and we're going to go for energy weapon damage next. Excellent. This unification center requires a job. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this admin complex, and we're also going to upgrade this heritage site. There we go. Cool. So there's still quite a lot of things that need to be done economically to deal with the Unity update. No doubt about that. We are currently working on burritos. We're going to get our starbase built there. And of course, we're going to take Gorkoner very, very soon. I want to double check. Is there only the one remaining Unbidden dimensional portal yet? Yes, there is. Okay. So with that being the case, I'm just thinking here. This will take a while to construct these bits here. That's something to think about. Because my concern here is we take Gorkoner, and one of these construction ships comes up through Naborathar. We could just keep an eye on that and close borders if necessary. I would prefer not to close borders. That would be my preference. How long on this starbase? 25%? Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Let's hop into the edicts here, and did we not re-up our recycling campaign? We did not. So we're going to do that. That does put us negative in the energy credits for right now, but that might be acceptable for the moment. Let's see how that ends up going after this month tick here. Okay, the Bloodstone Suffit is repaired. That's fantastic. Is everybody good to go? Actually, we do need additional ships here, and we are very close to being out of exotic gases. We're going to go ahead and get in 100 more of those, and we're going to still be out of exotic gases. Beautiful. We're going to get in 100 more of those. In fact, we're going to buy in 200 of them, and then we're going to continue to reinforce. There we go. So we're now good to go here, and there is this cruiser in the 17th and Aquamarine Suffits. I feel like those are supposed to be somewhere else, and let's see about where they're supposed to go, actually. This is a cruiser, so the cruiser goes into the Bronze. Like so. There we go. And then the Aquamarine is just a destroyer. I'm guessing that goes into the Ruby? Yes. So if we go into the Ruby, we cancel this destroyer and group them together like so. Now the Topaz is where basically all of our reinforcements are going. That's fine. No problem there, but now we've got these grouped back together properly. So that's very good. We definitely need to work on our economy here a little bit. There's no doubt about that. So let's go ahead and see what we've got going on up here. The answer is not a whole lot. Okay. That's unfortunate, to be sure, but it's not the end of the world. So that'll be fine. We did build our starbase in burritos. We're going to go ahead and build our mining and research station. And yes, it's not pronounced burritos, but I think that's funnier. So we're going with it. Excellent. This refinery station requires a job, and this being a refinery station is okay. We want this to be a synthetic crystal plant. So that'll go on in. Excellent. And what do we got next? Well, not a whole lot at the moment. Okay. Once we're done with this, we do want to jump drive over to here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now, this will take a little while, but this is actually only 2 constructions, so that won't take as long as perhaps it could have. So that'll be very, very good. Absolutely excellent. And we're going to have a few more worlds starting to fill up the way that Harsey kind of has. It hasn't really, though, because we can upgrade these to admin complexes. So we're going to want to do that soon enough. We are pretty negative on amenities, but that's okay for the moment. There's transgenic crops. That will help our food, so that's good. Monthly unity would also be really, really good right now. We're going to take that. There we go. Our monthly unity is improving. Unfortunately, our empire size is not really getting better. We're falling behind on that, I feel like. And that's definitely something that we need to work on. And that is something that is getting better, but it's not exactly better yet. That'll take some time. So that's okay. Not a huge deal there. These guys are... what, just kind of chilling? Oh, they're just passing through. Okay. Just checking there. So we should have 1 mining station here, and then 1 research station to construct. And then we jump drive. Cool. So the dimensional anchor will be eliminated very shortly. Just checking in on the status over here. We could go take Kosk, and I think we will. So we're going to head over there right now. I definitely do want to get our food, consumer goods, and energy credit situation taken care of. Now, our energy credit situation would be dealt with if we didn't run the recycling campaign. Because we're running the recycling campaign, that does offset our consumer goods, but is that actually worth it? It's 300 per month in upkeep. Energy credits. And that's saving us how much? Let's go to the month tick and find out how much that's actually saving us. We're minus 57 right now. I think we were at like 157 before, so it's roughly 100. How much is the cost of a consumer good? 2.4 to buy. So I don't think that that's actually a good deal. Let's see how much it actually is here. 120. So yeah, it's not a good deal. So we're not going to run that for the time being. We're going to keep the energy credits, and we can buy in consumer goods when we need them. That'll be just fine. That's good to know for sure. Nothing going on over here. Okay. Now, we are definitely looking to eliminate the Unbidden in this episode, but that's going to be waiting over here. We definitely need to liquidate some minerals. There we go. That'll do the trick. And our research station will be done here in just a little bit. We're at 65%. So that's fantastic. Now, we do have this construction ship that is not currently doing anything. I wouldn't mind moving it into Valonis. The major problem there is that we don't have the best influence right now. And the commercial packs that we have are actually still necessary, I think. So that is definitely a thing.
We grow ever stronger.
Okay, so there's that research station. We're going to jump drive now, so these guys are going to head on into Gorkiner. Beautiful. Once we arrive with our jump drive, we will hop over to here. Okay, let's go eliminate the final dimensional anchor. Over we go. And here we are. Let's do it. So the dimensional anchor will get eliminated very soon here.
Ever stronger.
And that is absolutely beautiful. It's taken us a little bit to get there, but the shields will start to go down extremely quickly now. And indeed, there they go. Fantastic. Our artillery ships back here just pounding it with those kinetic batteries. Beautiful. Its armor is gone. And so is its hull. Well, almost. Now its hull is gone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and reinforce that fleet and send them back to repair. Actually, no, we're not. We're just going to leave them here. We're going to immediately build our starbase here, and we should have engaged over here. Yes, we have engaged the dimensional portal. There we go. Their anchors are all gone. And so is the portal. The dimensional portal in the dim system has been destroyed. This means that the extra-dimensional invaders can no longer receive reinforcements from their twisted realm. With the destruction of this portal, the end of these invasions is finally in sight. A profound sense of elation has settled over most of the galaxy. The Democratic Association of the majority of the Pictlings has won much admiration, since it was their ships that struck the final blow against the portal. The crews of those vessels will be celebrated as heroes for generations to come. The galaxy is a safer place. Indeed it is. Now, the war in heaven is still raging, so there's that. We're going to build our mining stations over here. And we're going to still have to clear out all of these Unbidden. There's no doubt about that. They don't go away, and that's fine. We're going to definitely take as much territory as we can in this time. When the swirling energies left behind after the destruction of the last dimensional portal finally dissipated, our forces found a weakened extra-dimensional drifting nearby. The creature was captured and interrogated. It is apparently one of their warlocks, a powerful extra-dimensional even by their standards, responsible for maintaining the portal's link between our reality and theirs. If we can study or even channel its psionic power, we should be able to greatly improve our sublate speeds and jump drive range. That's pretty solid. That is a relic, and so we would have to activate that. That's this guy. Just a passive 15% sublate speed. That's a huge deal, actually. And we can double the jump drive range by activating that effect. Now, jump drive range is already pretty generous. Like, you can see that size there. By doubling it, it's going to be out to, like, here, and we'll be able to jump, like, a quarter across the galaxy. Not bad. Not bad at all. We're positive in food now. Not in consumer goods, however. That's okay for the moment. The Diamond Sophite is, of course, being replenished as we speak. No problem there. We don't really have a way to get out here in any sort of a quick capacity. So that's something we do need to think about. But we're going to make our way through here and get as much territory over this way as possible. So that'll be a decent chunk of territory, in theory, that we'll take from taking leadership against the Unbidden, because we were the only ones not fighting the war in heaven. Reminder, the war in heaven is still happening. We haven't checked in on that in a bit. This Forge World requires jobs. We're going to get some civilian fabricators in there. That will help out our consumer goods, although we may require additional exotic goods to make that happen. We'll see how that goes. I just want to check through here. Okay, let's check in on the status of the war in heaven. So these guys are up to equivalent to us now, so they've improved a bit. They are still only 50% of the way through the war. Okay. How are the Zikmok doing? They, of course, have a separate war against the League. They're also only halfway through. Okay. So this war will end eventually, but not for a bit yet, it seems. That's okay. We can continue to grab Unbidden territory and re-establish ourselves in the wake of the Unity rework. So that's fine. Now, our empire size is definitely creeping up, and that's to be expected. We are going to grab an additional volatile moat from here, which is a reasonably decent deal. We do want to hop in here and stop our purchase of volatile moats. We also want to stop our purchase of exotic gases, it looks like. And I'm going to cancel our sale of dark matter for the moment. We're still buying in rare crystals, and in fact, we should bump that up to 5 rare crystals per month. So we'll go ahead and do that for now. Excellent. But with the Unbidden now no longer being a threat, I can't believe that they never replenished any of this stuff. That's kind of nutty to me. But with them no longer being any sort of a threat, this is great. We're in a really, really solid position here, and I do want to push up over this way and grab Dim, because they do have a strategic coordination center here, which will be helpful for us if we want to get another fleet rolling. So that'll be great. Absolutely phenomenal, in fact. It would also be interesting if there were, like, building, or modules rather, kind of like anchorages that would be used for empire size. That doesn't exist, but that would be interesting. It'd be a nice tool to be able to combat the empire size, because this is definitely going to be rough to combat this late into the game. I think there's no doubt about that. That said, we are still expanding, and to some degree, the empire size is what it is. To some degree. The bigger part of this being complex, though, is the fact that the cost of upgrading our planetary ascension tiers is going up rapidly. And I think that ascension tier cost is tied to our empire size. I'm fairly certain that's what's causing that to go up. So the real question is, do we have a way to reduce that? That would be a good question. I would also love it if it showed how much Empire Sprawl a world generated on this somewhere. As far as I know, it doesn't. I mean, we can estimate it based on the pops, districts, and, well, yeah, the pops and districts. We can estimate it based on that, but it's not a great way to handle it, in my opinion. Now, this Forge world requires a job, and to that end, we're pretty full up here. What do we want to put in here? Simply an admin office? We have 10 jobs available. That would be a good use of those, or 10 housing available, rather. That would be a good use of that housing, I feel like. So that'll be okay. We are currently at -2 rare crystals. That's also in the category of okay. And we are finishing up our constructions over here. And we're going to grab Yel Barasta here and then move up to Dim. We would love to get our hands on the territory over here. Now, I'm not necessarily too keen on defending all of this that we're taking out in these random areas. It's not necessarily going to be the greatest thing for us to be able to defend that, but it'll be okay. For now, we're mostly just grabbing territory in strategic-ish locations. Like, I want the Strategic Coordination Center in Dim. I would like to have things like L-Gates, like Light's End. That would be great. And it would be nice, and Zilbach's Maw too. I don't know how realistic it is that we get some of those. But things out over here are not super strategically important to us. So I'm not sure if we really care too much about taking all of this territory because of the empire size. Now, when we stop annexing territory, our empire size will only be going up from district and pops. So that's going to slow it, although it's not going to stop it under any circumstances. So that's something that we need to consider. We're also negative on food again. I think that's just a job reshuffling, is my guess. We'll see. For the time being, though, we're going to have admin offices done over here. And once we can back off on some of these edicts over here, that will be a big deal. Now, these two are only 10%. Maybe we should back off on the forge and industrial subsidies so that we're making more unity and we can bring down our empire size. I think that might be for the best. Also, our edicts fund would be nice to bring up, but it looks like that's mostly something that we can't do, or can't affect too much at this time anyway. So that'll be okay. No problem on our colonies at the moment. And the Bronzite Cephete should definitely enter orbit here. We'll have it hop on over. There we go. Cool. So the diamond is just chilling out over here. That's fine. And our construction ships are working away. Cool. So all of this, for the moment, is completely fine. Now, we do drop our alloy production a little bit, and we drop our consumer goods production quite a lot. We are going to hit 0 consumer goods fairly soon, but we're making the trade-off here of getting the unity. Now, I still think that the food production one is worthwhile because the farming subsidies is 50% output, and that's farmer and angler output. Now, keep in mind, anglers produce food. We don't have farmers. That's irrelevant. For some reason, I was thinking that farmers produce the food and anglers were the consumer goods. They aren't. That's not how that works. So that's a 50% increase to our food, which is huge. Absolutely huge. So that's great. This tech world over here requires a job, and we're going to put in a civilian fabricator there. We desperately need to offset our consumer goods losses, and we'll go ahead and do that. This tech world here, I'm going to put in a city district to open this last building slot, and we'll put in a consumer goods factory there. Now that will use up this job that we have available here, and that's not necessarily the greatest of things, but for now that's okay. And we do have a heritage site on here. It's okay, I guess. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now I'm going to swap this over to an agri world right now. There we go. And that's so that we have additional output of food here. Apparently we still have a planetary deficit, but that is because we have 3 angler jobs that are not being done at this moment. We ran out of consumer goods, and we're just going to buy in 5,000 of them. There we go. Now that probably undid our farming subsidies edict. It did indeed. We'll re-up that, and that's okay. For now, that's the only edict we're looking at having. We're going to put in an agriculture district here that will produce both food and consumer goods. On this tech world, we do require a job. I don't really want to put in a research complex here, but it's really the only option. It's a little sad, but it'll do. Okay, sounds good. So let's check in on our construction ships. They should both be done. We're going to send these guys out to Churgamore, and then we're going to send these guys to construct their starbase at Dim. Beautiful. So these guys can now focus on their war in heaven without worrying too much about the Unbidden. I think the Unbidden have no remaining fleets, and they only have the starbases. I'm completely content with that situation, if that is indeed the case. These guys are going to move up into Churgamore, and they'll just, of course, pursue our fleet here. And that'll be just fine. So we are going to get access to this particular strategic coordination center. Is that maxed? I want to double check. So it's plus 150, and yeah, it's maxed. Okay. That is going to cost us 75 energy credits, but that's going to definitely allow us to get more navy. And that's okay. Fortified core layers, okay, defense platform hull points, and we're going to go for... None of these are tremendously amazing. I think we're going to take the armor hit points. At some point, we're going to have to refit our ships to no longer be set up against the Unbidden. For now, I think it's okay to remain that way because we're going to be fighting a number of their stations yet. So that's something to think about when we want to refit that. We are going to be drawn into conflict with the rest of the galaxy soon-ish. Declaring on the Valdari is, I think, pretty likely. The question is when.
Ever stronger.
And the answer is not yet, but definitely soon-ish. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to continue knocking out the Unbidden territory and taking it for ourselves. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.